Released in 1994, Pulp Fiction was not just a movie but a culture shock that shook Hollywood and turned its cast into immortal names. Under the magical hands of Quentin Tarantino, every character and every line became iconic. 30 years later, some continue to storm the screen, some quietly retreat, and some are even fighting a cruel fate. If you're also curious about who is still alive, who is dead, and what their fate is, remember to like and sub so you don't miss this crazy story. When it comes to Pulp Fiction, the image of the assassin Vincent Vega with his long, flowing hair, sluggish gait and cold, nonchalant dialogue is certainly one of the most unforgettable impressions. That role was played by John Travolta when he was 40 years old, marking the spectacular comeback of the actor born on February 18, 1954. Before coming to Pulp Fiction, Travolta's career had fallen into a period of stagnation after the brilliant successes of Grease or Saturday Night Fever. But thanks to the hand of director Quentin Tarantino, along with the character Vincent Vega, an assassin with a dark sense of humor and unique arrogance, helped Travolta regain his halo, even receiving an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. Since then, John Travolta has continuously appeared in famous films such as Face/Off, Get Shorty, and Primary Colors. At 71, he is still passionate about acting, most recently in the action film Cash Out, 2024. Off-screen, Travolta spends most of his time with his family and his hobby of flying. He is a licensed pilot and owns a private plane, living peacefully in Los Angeles but never far from the spotlight. If Pulp Fiction is a bold and strange cinematic feast, then Samuel L. Jackson as Jules Winfield is the spicy spice that makes the whole work explode. Born on December 21, 1948, Samuel L. Jackson took on the role of this philosophical assassin when he was 45 years old, and since then the name Samuel L. Jackson has been associated with sharp dialogue, fierce eyes, and an unmistakable cold demeanor. The character Jules with curly hair, black suit, and Ezekiel 25 verse 17 became an icon of American cinema in the 90s, and at the same time helped Jackson receive an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. This role not only opened a new chapter in his career but also made him one of the names that guarantee the box office of Hollywood. At the age of 76, Samuel L. Jackson is still not slowing down. He joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Nick Fury, appearing in the Marvels and the Secret Invasion series, and participated in many other large and small film projects. With his own edgy style, characteristic deep voice, and enduring energy, he is still a living monument, a symbol of arrogance and black violence on the world's silver screen. Among the many cinematic icons of the 90s, the image of Mia Wallace with her short bob, red wine lips, and passionate twist dance with Vincent Vega has become an unforgettable moment that audiences cannot forget. The person who brought that magical and seductive aura is Uma Thurman, the actress born on April 29, 1970, who was only 24 years old when she transformed into the crime boss's wife in Pulp Fiction. This role not only helped Uma Thurman receive an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress, but also made her a familiar muse of director Quentin Tarantino. After Pulp Fiction, Uma continued to collaborate with Tarantino in the Kill Bill series, affirming her position as a sexy but thorny action woman of Hollywood cinema. Currently, at the age of 55, Uma Thurman still maintains her charm and personality. She regularly appears in independent film projects, television series, and art films such as Suspicion, 2022, or Hollywood Stargirl. Although she no longer chooses to appear massively on the big screen, Uma is still the name mentioned whenever talking about bold and individual female cinema icons of the 20th century. In the star-studded cast of Pulp Fiction, the character Butch Coolidge, a reckless and fearless boxer, left a special mark thanks to Bruce Willis's instinctive and masculine performance. Born on March 19, 1955, Bruce was just 39 years old at the time and was already a famous star thanks to the Die Hard series. However, Pulp Fiction was a spectacular turn that helped him escape the image of a super cop and prove himself in a more thorny, dark, and introspective role. Willis's character Butch was not only captivating with his punches in the ring but also with his silence, dissatisfaction with life, and unexpected decisions at the crossroads of life and death. This role continued to affirm Willis's position as an icon of the action and crime films of the 90s. Unfortunately, after more than 4 decades of conquering the screen, Bruce Willis was forced to say goodbye to his career. In 2022, his family confirmed that he had been diagnosed with aphasia and progressive dementia. At 70, Willis now lives a private life with his family, receiving a lot of love and regret from fans around the world who grew up with the image of the invincible hero of American cinema. In the chaotic world of Pulp Fiction, the character of the boss Marcellus Wallace always makes the audience shiver every time he appears, and it was Ving Rhames who did that with his deep, steely voice and unmatched authority. Born on May 12, 1959, Rhames was only 35 years old when he transformed into the most powerful man in the Los Angeles underworld, with a mysterious scar on the back of his head and eyes that could make anyone tremble. Not only is he a symbol of power in the film, this role also helped Ving Rhames escape from previous bland supporting roles and affirm his name in Hollywood. After Pulp Fiction, he continued to make his mark as Luther Stickle, Ethan Hunt's close friend and right-hand man in the Mission Impossible series, accompanying Tom Cruise for nearly 3 decades. Now, at the age of 66, Ving Rhames is still a familiar name in the American action film industry, with regular appearances in blockbusters and TV series. Despite the passage of time, his famous husky voice and calm, cool demeanor still make the world audience respect him. An underground but powerful icon of the Hollywood silver screen. In a film full of eccentric characters and razor-sharp dialogue, Tim Roth still managed to leave an unforgettable mark as Pumpkin, the small but reckless restaurant robber who opens and closes Pulp Fiction with a gun and trembling threats. Born on May 14, 1961, Roth entered the film at the age of 33, bringing to the character a reckless and eccentric quality of a person living on the margins of society, but having a surprisingly soft moment when facing Samuel L. Jackson's Jules. This role not only helped Tim Roth affirm his name in Hollywood but also opened up a series of opportunities for him in famous projects. Since then, he has become one of the familiar names in independent cinema and crime dramas, while maintaining a long-term collaboration with Quentin Tarantino. At the age of 63, Tim Roth is still very energetic on screen. He recently made a splash when he reprised his role as the villain Emil Blonsky in Marvel Studios' She-Hulk, Attorney at Law series, demonstrating his versatility and enduring appeal over nearly 4 decades in the industry. An artist with a unique personality, sharp eyes and hidden inner strength, he is hard to replace. Among the many eccentric characters in Pulp Fiction, the image of a restaurant robber with wild eyes and a high-pitched, agitated voice named Honey Bunny left an unforgettable impression on the audience. This character was wonderfully portrayed by actress Amanda Plummer, a familiar name on Broadway and the big screen. Born on March 23, 1957, Amanda entered the film at the age of 37, bringing to the role a chaotic, unstable, and terrifying energy, making the opening scene of Pulp Fiction one of the most haunting scenes in the history of world cinema. Not only was it a bold introduction to Tarantino's film, the role of Honey Bunny also helped Plummer prove her ability to transform into diverse, unusual, complex, and profound characters. After that success, she continued to make her mark with a series of independent film and television roles, always choosing characters with fierce inner thoughts and unique personalities. Now 68, Amanda Plummer is still working hard on her acting career. Most recently, she surprised fans by appearing in Star Trek: Picard, continuing to affirm her position as a veteran female artist with her own unique style on screen. In the chaotic and confusing world of Pulp Fiction, there is a character who appears briefly but immediately makes the audience remember forever, that is Winston Wolfe, also known as the Wolf. This character is played by Harvey Keitel, a veteran of American cinema, born on May 13, 1939. When participating in Quentin Tarantino's famous film, Keitel was 55 years old and brought a charismatic transformation of a cold, intelligent, and surprisingly effective troubleshooter. With just 10 minutes on screen, Mr. Wolfe became an icon, the person everyone wanted to call when things got out of control. This character also helped Keitel consolidate his position as one of the actors with the ability to transform and leave a deep impression despite appearing in a short time. At the age of 86, Harvey Keitel is still persistent in his acting career, constantly participating in film and television projects. Recently, he starred in the series The Tattooist of Auschwitz, proving that for a true artist, age is just a number and passion for art never gets old. Among the most bizarre and unique moments of Pulp Fiction, it is impossible not to mention the classic monologue about the pocket watch, a story that is half tragicomic, half haunting, and only Christopher Walken can tell with such a deep, characteristic accent. Born on March 31, 1943, Walken transformed into Captain Coons when he was 51 years old, and with just a short scene he left an indelible mark in the history of cinema. The character Captain Coons is not a gunman or a participant in bloody action scenes, but just by telling the story of the souvenir he hid in his anus for many years in prison to protect his comrade's son, Walken made the audience remember forever. It was a moment that made the film even more unique and made Walken's name closely associated with eccentric, colorful roles. Now, at the age of 82, Christopher Walken is still a rare face on the Hollywood screen, continuing to accept big projects like Dune, Part 2. He proves that, for a true actor, passion and personal mark are things that never fade over the years. Among the fierce, violent, and dark characters of Pulp Fiction, Fabienne, the small, innocent girlfriend of Boxer Butch, is a gentle, cute, and charming note. The person who brought this character to life is the Portuguese actress, Maria de Medeiros, born on August 19, 1965. When the film was released, she was just 29 years old. Although she only appeared in a few short scenes, Fabienne, with her soft voice and big round eyes filled with worry, became a gentle support in the bloody and violent world of Butch. Her naive lines about the watch her father left her or her love of ice cream pies created everyday but emotionally powerful moments in the film. After the success of Pulp Fiction, Maria de Medeiros did not follow Hollywood but chose to continue developing her career in Europe, especially in her home country of Portugal. At the age of 59, she is still an enthusiastic artist, participating in independent film projects and trying her hand at directing, keeping the creative flame alive for more than 3 decades. Three decades later, Pulp Fiction still holds its status as a cinematic masterpiece, and its cast, each with their own fate and journey, are still symbols of a golden generation of cinema. Those names, whether at the peak, behind the scenes, or temporarily suspended due to illness, have left an indelible mark on the hearts of audiences around the world. If you also love Pulp Fiction and the ups and downs of this legendary cast, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so I can continue to tell you the best, strangest, and most unbelievable cinematic stories.